Folks, if you were not a part of yesterday's show, we did a story regarding Millie Ortiz, a 92-year-old woman that 5 months ago to the day was on her way home from bingo. She was a passenger in a vehicle. She was struck at an intersection by a marked OPD vehicle, and she was killed. Now, the initial investigation from OPD found that the officer was at fault, that lights were not being used, that the person, the vehicle that Miss Millie Ortiz was in had the right-of-way, had a green light. And there was fault with the officer, quote, fault. And there was a mechanical malfunction with the vehicle. However, let me back that up. Not a mechanical function with the vehicle at that time. So they say at the time, though, officer at fault. Now, we're 5 months later, everybody. And here's what we get on record. Nothing. OPD's own preliminary crash report said the officer's emergency lights were off. The Jeep had a green light. The officer's at fault. And then on June 5th, the state attorney declines to file charges, saying they couldn't prove reckless disregard, noting that the cruiser's lights may have suffered a mechanical failure. And it had a documented history of problems. The worst thing about this story, everybody, is that OPD has done its own internal investigation and given us nothing for 5 months. I want you to imagine that if you're the family of Millie Ortiz right now, that your grandmother or mother is killed tragically in an accident. At the actual accident scene, they say, you know what? The officer was at fault. There's nothing that they did wrong. And then 5 months later, after an internal investigation, you get nothing from the police department. And then you get the state attorney to come out and say, you know what? We're not going to release anything, but we're just going to say we couldn't prove reckless disregard. So everybody goes about their business. Would you not think something's wrong? Would you not think there might be a little bit of corruption that might be going on here? 5 months, everybody. OPD had opened 2 investigations back in January, one on the law, one on whether the officer followed department policy. 2 investigations. Zero results so far. 5 months later, not one word from OPD. Now, we have seen local news outlets, at least one. I want to give this man credit. What's his name over here? I want to give this man some credit here. Let me talk. Let me figure this guy out. What's his name? Justin? You found that article, right?
Yeah.
Justin Schecker?
Let's see.
I want to give this man a little bit of credit. A gentleman by the name of Justin tries to go out and get some answers from OPD, from Chief Smith, about why it takes 5 months for an internal investigation on a car crash where a woman died. And we can't get that. We have a state attorney that won't even give answers to a family when it is documented that people were at the scene, the cruiser's lights were off and were malfunctioning. The person who died had the right of way and had a green light and did nothing wrong. It's a 92-year-old woman coming home from bingo, and we can't get an answer from OPD. We can't, on a 5-month investigation, a family can't get any answers. That family can't get answers from OPD. They can't get answers from the state attorney. Nobody knows what happened, and there's nobody who has paid any consequences whatsoever. To say this is unacceptable would be the understatement of the century. This is just a disregard for people, for just general humanity. 5 months? What are we doing? Let me tell you what. If you watch this show, if you have ever gotten value from my content, I beg of you to put a comment below and say, hold OPD accountable. Somebody needs to. Wesh 2, Fox, I don't know, all of them. What we got? Wesh, Fox, WFTV, News 6, Spectrum, Orlando Sentinel. Is somebody going to hold these people accountable to an internal affairs review that takes less than 5 months when somebody dies? Is that the level we should expect from our government around here? Who's going to be responsible for this? And if I sound upset, it's because I should be. Imagine if this was your family, everyone. Imagine if somebody in your family died and you can't get an answer from the police department who killed her. Now, I'm not saying it's their fault, but I'm saying that don't we deserve something? Body cam footage, dashboard cam footage. We deserve something from the street view. Anything somebody want to release? Anybody? Does someone want to hold someone accountable around here? Where are you at, Chief Smith? Where are you at, OPD? Is someone want to give this family some answers? Or are we just going to sit back and say this is completely acceptable, that we do a 5-month investigation, release nothing to the family, and then we just get the state attorney going out and saying, sorry, I don't have anything that I can't do further, so we're done and we're over with this thing.
It makes me sick. And honestly, too, the reporter at West 2, we saw the video, and he's like trying to ask the chief of police, hey, what's going on with this? And all he does is he walks away, walks down the hall, and doesn't answer the question.
That's right. West 2 shows up on scene, approaches Chief Smith, walks away. No, not acceptable. Period. You have somebody that has died. You have an officer involved in that death. And then you can't even answer questions. And your internal affairs report, 5 months, and you give us nothing? To give it, for complete clarity, everybody, I can't make this up. A 92-year-old woman on her way home from bingo gets struck by a marked car. People at the scene say the lights were off of the car and it didn't have the right of way. People at the scene, their own report at the scene says the officer was at fault. The woman dies, and then nothing from OPD, nothing from the state for 5 months until the state comes out and says, we can't do anything. And then OPD has nothing for 5 months, and it's still counting from an internal investigation. Anyone want some dashboard cam footage? Anybody want some body cam footage? Can we get a report from witnesses that were at the scene? Can we get the own opinion from maybe Chief Smith or maybe another officer? Like anything? No. Does that family not deserve it? Orlando, if you have ever found value in my content, we have got to hold these people accountable. We deserve an answer, but more importantly, the family deserves an answer. Imagine if this was your loved one, your grandmother, your mother, and then nobody wants to give you a darn answer. And where are our news outlets here in Florida? Aren't you supposed to be doing investigative journalism? Somebody else out there want to put their name on the line? Somebody want to do this? No, nobody. That's where I got a problem. Somebody needs to stick up for this family and say enough is enough. 5 months to look at a crash? You got to be kidding me. Bring it in here. I'll help you all out. I'll look at the crash and I'll go, yep, person ran the light, shouldn't have been there. Lights weren't on. Somebody's at fault here. Am I saying they're criminally at fault? No, I'm not. But I am saying that somebody needs to pay some consequences right now. You don't get to not follow the rules. You don't get to have faulty equipment. You don't get to sit there and for 5 months figure out what you're going to say. You need to come out there and you need to be held accountable. That is what we need, accountability in this area. And you know how many times, Anthony, have I had to do stories about Orange County and Central Florida with zero accountability? I'm sick of it. And you know what? News outlets, all of you out there, do your job.
It makes
Do your job.
Because they're sweeping it under the rug.
Damn
with
right
the police. It makes me sad.
Makes me sad for the family. I'm so pissed off, man. You know, I talked about this story this morning, and we've gotten some people that have reached out to us that are very close to this story. I'm just going to say that. And when I talk to them, I think to myself, where are you at, Wesh, Fox, local news outlets? Where are you at, WFTV, News 6? Where are you at, Orlando Sentinel? Come on, y'all. Do you find this to be acceptable that 5 months of time goes by and we just get nothing? That's the level of service, that's the level of transparency that we should expect from our county and city officials? Because if it is, let me tell you what, I mean, we don't have a city that's worth a darn. If that's what we're doing, then it's no wonder our downtown is falling apart like it is. It's no wonder that nobody trusts the government around here. I'm so disgusted by this right now because I can't imagine being that family. I'm visibly upset by this one right here, Anthony.
I'll say this. You know what? I think they are doing what they can with the news. They're doing what they can, but I think honestly, the people they need to be accountable for is OPD.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy from Wesh, he did try to get answers, and they're walking away. They're not doing their job, if I'm being honest.
Good point. Good point. Way to hold me in check. So good. You know, right. Good point. Wesh 2, good job. You know, you went out there, guy walks away from you. You can't do much about that. I got it. But these outlets that are not covering this story, it's time to step up. Orlando, it's time to step up. I'm not going to, you think I'm dropping this? You got another thing coming. All right. Now that now that I'm seeing this, you think I'm dropping this? Nah. Here's the difference between me and everybody else. No one pays my bills. I do. So I don't got to worry about some sponsor. I don't got to worry about pissing off OPD. I don't care because somebody needs to be held accountable for what's happening right here. And the only way that we're going to get results is if this community says enough and you comment and you put pressure and you say, we need answers now. That's what we need. I could care less about this whole anything else other than this family getting justice. And justice for me is truth. It's not somebody losing their job. It's not somebody anything like that because there's no proof of that right now. But you need answers you need proof of what happened. I mean, when you have somebody that passes away, it doesn't matter if it's from, it's from life, just, they get older or a tragic accident like this. You want to know what happened. When my father died, I wanted to know what the last day he had was like, right? Yeah. Because you want closure into your family and the people that you love. And when you see something like this, where a family's wishes are being ignored by a community, let me repeat that, are being ignored by OPD, that ain't right. And that's what's happening here, everybody. I could spend all day talking about this in the hopes that someone out there wakes up and says, this ain't right. And we deserve better. And this family deserves better. And I'm not going to stand for this anymore. And if you're a news outlet and you follow me, you're not going to stand for it. 5 months of an internal investigation for a car crash, and we can't get one answer from OPD. Wake up, Orlando. If you don't think that could happen to you, if they're doing it with a 92-year-old grandmother who has died at no fault of her own and we can't get an answer in 5 months, then I got a bridge I can sell you because you are being fooled. And until we hold our elected officials accountable in this city, we are not going to get a darn bit of change, Anthony. And it's only going to come from social pressure from people like you and me and you to hold people accountable for this family and to say no. 5 months for a car crash? Give me an answer. No to the state attorney who says, hey, I'm good. I'm not pressing forward with anything. Okay, well then show us the proof. And if you do show it to me, Anthony, and I go, oh, well, you know what? It doesn't look like anyone's at fault. That was a tough situation. All right. Looks like maybe the lights were on. The cruiser was there. He was parked in the wrong spot. Malfunctioned the lights and they went off. Looks like the police officer is trying to do his job. This is a terrible, unfortunate thing. But now I see what happened and there's no charges to be pressed, but there is accountability from OPD's side. And if I saw that, then I go, okay, I know what happened. But when you do a 5-month internal investigation and you give us zero from that investigation in 5 months of a traffic homicide that we're talking about, you can't give an answer in 5 months. How many attorneys have had to look at this thing and say no? How many times have they had to look at this case and go, we're going to give it another day? What are you looking at? What kind of defense are you trying to put up? Because that's what it looks like. It looks like a lack of transparency from OPD, who simply just will not give answers. Because I promise, the same thing I said yesterday, Anthony, roll a TV or carry a TV in here or send me the file. We'll put it right up on the big screen. And I promise you, between me and you, I bet it takes us 10 minutes to figure out what happened.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I think that's a big thing that you mentioned too, transparency. We need to have transparency. Why, if we're wrong, show us, be like, this is what happened. This is why we came to this conclusion of why we did this. But right now, they're just walking away, just trying to sweep it under the rug.
they're literally walking away. Name is Justin, right?
Yeah, Justin.
Shout out, Justin, for watching, bud. Good job. Justin goes out there and tried to get that. Justin tried to get a comment. And you know what? Shame on you. Shame on you, OPD. I mean, does a family missing, does a woman's death not get more than just a no comment, see you later? Is life not worth more than that? Is the family, do they not deserve more closure than that? Man, I'll tell you, and you heck, we share an office here, me and Anthony, because we do these things, and Anthony's doing internal content. I'm telling you, if I disappoint a client, all right, Anthony will visibly see me unable to even focus. I will have to walk out here. It ruins if I disappoint a client of ours for marketing and video production, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it visibly shakes me. How are we living with ourselves every day if we've got an investigation like this and we're unwilling, and because at this point you're unwilling to release the findings, not redacted, don't give me that crap. Give me the footage right now. Give it to me. Give the public the footage, but most importantly, give the family the footage that they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, Anthony, I'm a lot of things. I make a lot of mistakes in life, and Lord knows I've had, and me and you have talked about them. But one thing I'm not is I'm not a coward, and I'm not going to back down on this one. And I truly hope that the West 2s and Foxes and, News 6s and Orlando Sentinels and all of these across Florida, that you wake up to this one, because something's not right here. Something's not right. And that deserves people to pay attention. What do we need people to do, Anthony? Do we need them to comment on this thing, tag OPD? What do we need, Anthony?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because I feel like I think mainly we just need the community to know, or everyone to know about this story, because we really only found out about it a couple days ago, and now we're trying to do more of it. But I feel like the average person doesn't know because it's getting swept under the rug, and everyone needs to know. And then the more voices we have, the more that OPD can't run away in a hallway and try to hide.
So I think tag them in comments.
Keep tagging them. Keep calling them. Yeah,
well, I'm going to keep calling it. I'll do it until people get tired of my comment, until people get tired of the content.
I want that press thing going on. I want Eric Smith to go up. Here.
We need a full court press.
I want him to show me videos, be like, this is what happened. This is why. This is what we came to the conclusion.
Enough. You're an attorney. You live in Orlando. You need to share our story. All right. You need to watch our content. You need to share our story in this one. Not for me who gives a crap. Not for Anthony, anything like that. There is a family out there who has lost somebody that they love, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of people interested in getting down to the truth. And that ain't good with me. So we put this out there. We'll put the short form content out there, but we need people to say, no. We tell us the truth. Whatever that is, give it to us. Not saying we need somebody to be like, there's no like criminal thing. I'm not accusing someone of doing something. What I'm accusing people of is a 5-month investigation on a traffic crash is ridiculous. And when I see that, and any reasonable person in Orlando sees that, or their family sees that, what it is it looks like a cover-up. And you can't look at it in any other way other than that. And so until this community gets behind this family and demands that we get truth here and that we get an unredacted version of body cam and dash cam footage right now, if we get stuff from the traffic lights, if we get the officer's own report, like, I don't know, any of that stuff would be really nice, don't you think? Is that
100%.
just like the bare minimum that we should expect from our city and local officials? I'd say so. So disappointed on this one.
Yeah.
Really is. And I'm telling you this, I make this promise to the family if they are watching, I will not stop. All right. So I know this, it seems like the family, at least from what I've seen, are good people that are looking for answers to something that they just, whatever reason, keeps getting swept under the rug. We can't let that happen. You got a family that needs answers. And so it looks to me like there's not many people in the news that are very hungry for the truth right now. And so somebody's got to be. And we need Orlando to put pressure on OPD to release their findings in full. No redacted statements or redacted videos. We need it all. And I don't care what that leads to. Nothing, maybe it's nothing. Maybe all it leads to is a terrible situation where lights just happen to go off. That can happen. All right. Maybe it's a terrible situation. Okay. But at least we know. And what it leads me to believe, man, is if we can't get a straight answer on a traffic accident, what else are we not getting straight answers about?
Definitely. It just makes me sad.
It does make me sad, man. And that's why I want to, and folks, the reason I start off like this and people are like, man, Pat, you're really into it. Oh man, calm down, that kind of stuff, because I get kind of worked up when this stuff happens. That's just my personality, but I get worked up because I genuinely give a crap, because I know that if it was my family, if it was a person that I loved, I can't imagine the kind of pain that, and just being there and not being able to get a damn answer from anybody. And you sit there and you're like, why can't I get anything from anyone? Why? And you don't know. Mm-hmm. And so you feel probably helpless and you feel like, what the hell am I going to do about it? I'm just one person. I'm going to go against the entire department. And until the city of Orlando, until the people that watch this show and the news and the media outlets that cover this city decide that we're not going to put up with it anymore, that there needs to be transparency, nothing is going to happen. Mm-hmm. And things like this will get swept under the rug because no one's going to put enough pressure on this thing. No one's going to say, hey, listen, I'll be the one to raise my hand and say, no, this is not acceptable. It's not acceptable, everyone. And you should believe the same thing. I don't care if you're a police officer. I don't care if you support the red, the blue. I do too. All right. This has nothing to do with support of police officers or lack thereof. This has to do with transparency. This has to do with, supporting the police and wanting the police in our community to have the best reputation they can have. For knowing that when we have police officers that pull us over, we have police officers that enforce the law, that they do it beyond reproach. That they do it in a way that's meaningful and true, that they serve the community openly and with, like I said, with transparency. Damn.
Yeah.
It's tough on me to leave this one, man. It's tough on me to switch this one off.
Yeah. It makes me sick because they have the answers that we're looking for, but they're just not telling us, they're not showing us.
Yeah.
And that's all that we need. That's all we want.
They have the answers. You're right. They got them. It's sitting there. Release it. What are you doing? Who are you protecting? Mm-hmm. And why are you protecting them? Why? If somebody made a mistake, and it's an honest mistake, you made a mistake. Okay? It happens in life. We all do. Lord knows I've made mistakes. You have. We all have who watch this show. But what we can't do is can't say you made a mistake and therefore it'll look bad on our department. And therefore, we need to figure this thing out with attorneys and let's just kind of wait and hope it goes away. No, that time is coming past. 5 months, it's plenty of time. And so I know we have to get off the story, okay, everybody, but And I know that if you watch the show, it probably doesn't have something to do with you wherever you are, across the country, but keep this stuff in mind wherever you are. We're in Florida, but this could be anywhere. This could be a story in Georgia or California. It could be in New Mexico. It could be anywhere. Mm-hmm. And when you have local officials that are not being transparent with the public, then you need to say something, because it may not be you today, but it might be you tomorrow. And then you're going to be looking around going, who's going to help me? And that's why I want people to know. We should be willing to help one another. And this is a poor reflection on a department that is meant to be there to support and help a community. And I don't like that. And so I hope that we all can get behind each other on this one right here.